Ever thought being the emperor's favorite concubine was safe?
Ha. Cute.
Enter the regent, storms in, plants a kiss on the emperor, and stares at me like I'm supposed to cheer. I did not sign up for this. I am a favored consort. The prince regent barged into the sleeping chambers and forcibly kissed the emperor. The princess consort of the prince regent arrived a beat too late, and she and I stared at each other in shock. The princess consort suggested, "To be fair, why don't the two of us kiss as well?"
1.
I am the most favored consort in the palace. Lately, I've been deeply troubled because I suspect the prince regent has designs on my looks. It started at last year's autumn hunt. The emperor personally hunted a snow-white rabbit for me, and the prince regent snapped the feathered arrow in his hand. Later, at the winter banquet in the palace, the emperor fed me a grape. The prince regent crushed the cup in his hand right in front of everyone. Then came the lantern festival. I snuck out of the palace and ran into the prince regent having a secret rendezvous with a woman. That woman bore a 60% resemblance to me. I was so worried that night I only ate 3 bowls of rice. The prince regent, he truly loves me to death.
2.
The news that I only ate 3 bowls of rice at dinner quickly reached the emperor's ears. The emperor rushed over in a panic and immediately summoned 18 imperial chefs to my chambers. The moment he saw me, before I could even speak, he cupped my face and said in deep distress, "Damn it, they've starved my beloved consort until she's thin." Then he pointed at the chefs and started laying into them. "If you can't get my beloved consort's appetite back, I'll have all of you buried along with her appetite." Me. Under the emperor's doting gaze and the hopeful looks of the 18 chefs, I sighed. "I really can't eat." Emperor, really? "I don't believe it." Me. "I've got something on my mind." Emperor, "Whatever's troubling you, my beloved consort, say it. I'll take care of it for you." I thought for a moment, leaned close to his ear, and whispered softly, "It's nothing serious. I just realized the prince regent has fallen in love with me." Emperor. The emperor cleared his throat. "All of you withdraw." 3. As I said before, I'm a favored consort. On the very first day I entered the palace, I was bestowed the title of noble consort. The emperor dismissed the rest of the harem and doted on me alone. But in truth, all of this is an illusion. This favored consort of his, me, was hired by the emperor. The emperor had already come of age, but didn't want to choose consorts, so he hired me to play the role of his beloved consort, just to silence public opinion. At first, I was quite afraid the emperor would start acting for real, but later I stopped worrying. Because I discovered that the emperor can't. Otherwise, with a living, breathing beauty like me right in front of him, how could he possibly hold back and spend every night in my palace just reading memorials? I suspect the emperor has no worldly desires at all. I solemnly promised, "I'll keep this a secret for you." The emperor looked confused. "Keep what secret?" Me. I get it. The emperor yawned and lay down in front of me, still fully dressed. 4. Honestly, being the emperor's favored consort isn't bad at all. Food and lodging included, a monthly salary, and even an official post. Aside from occasionally having to accompany the emperor, this born actor, in putting on the whole tyrant and his beloved consort show, life is pretty comfortable. If nothing went wrong, I could keep this job until I died of old age. But now something has gone wrong. The Prince Regent has fallen in love with me. What kind of person is Prince Regent Lu Heng? He's the emperor's sworn enemy. The late emperor had only one biological son, the current emperor, and adopted Lu Heng as his foster son. The two were about the same age, but had never gotten along. Later, when the late emperor passed away, he left behind an edict appointing Lu Heng as Prince Regent, granting him authority to oversee the state. From then on, their relationship only grew worse. There are even rumors among the people that Lu Heng has been waiting for a chance to seize the throne. What if Lu Heng can't have me, and actually rebels? I was sick with worry. I'm just here to make money. I didn't sign up to bring down a nation. But the emperor beamed with joy. That's a good thing. Me. It's over. As expected, the moment Lu Heng is mentioned, The Emperor's brain short-circuits. Emperor, I've been worrying about not being able to catch Lu Heng in the act. Coveting a harem consort is a serious crime. Me, there's no evidence unless you catch him red-handed. The Emperor looked at me with sparkling eyes. I had a very bad feeling. Emperor, I promise I won't let you really suffer a loss. I refused righteously. And what are you using as collateral? Just because you can't doesn't mean he can't either. Emperor, since when can't I? I changed the subject. Besides, we agreed from the start, I sell my talents, not my body. The Emperor's gaze dimmed. Forget it. I knew it. In this life, I'll never beat Lu Heng. Father favored him, the court officials favor him, and even you, me, unless you raise the pay.
5.
I have fallen. For money, I sold my soul and my body. I dressed myself up all fancy and waited on the Prince Regent's usual route. His route was easy to guess. Out of the 12 hours in a day, he spends 6 of them in the imperial study arguing with the Emperor. All I had to do was stand guard on the road from the imperial study to Xuanwu Gate. Out of the corner of my eye, I caught sight of a dark green robe at the turn. I quickly struck a pose and started performing a melodramatic, beauty-burying flower scene. The Prince Regent strode past briskly, flicked his sleeve, and left without taking a single cloud with him. Me. He definitely didn't see me. The second time, I performed a dramatic trip and fall right in front of him. He used a nimble sidestep and smoothly avoided me. The third time, the fourth time, the Emperor pulled me over for a summary meeting, his big eyes filled with tiny question marks. Does Lu Heng really like you? You're not just saying this to scam money out of me, are you? I flew into a rage. Chi Wanwan, never make dirty money. The chief eunuch stepped forward. Your Majesty, the Prince Regent has sent someone with a gift, a cow. Emperor, why would he suddenly give me a cow? The chief eunuch hesitated. The Prince Regent said it's for the noble consort. He said drinking more milk helps supplement calcium. Me. I turned to look at the Emperor and said with absolute conviction, he's worried I'm calcium deficient.
He really does care about me.
6. The Prince Regent's love for me was restrained and understated. No matter how many tricks I tried, he remained self-controlled and impeccably proper. Instead, the number of cows kept at my Qi palace kept increasing. Every single moose seemed to proclaim the Prince Regent's affection for me. But the Emperor felt this was far from enough. That night, after we wrapped up another summary meeting, he pulled out a whole jar of wine and shared it with me. In a hazy, drunken stupor, the Emperor slammed the table and shouted, "If the mountain won't come to me, then I'll go to the mountain." I hiccuped. Say that in plain language. The Emperor raised his arms and declared, "We force it. We charge straight in and do it." Clearly, when it came to putting a green hat on his own head, the Emperor was even more enthusiastic than I was. The two of us, a pair of drunkards, propped each other up and sneaked out of the palace through a dog hole, then climbed over the wall of the Prince Regent's residence. Once inside, the cool night breeze sobered me up just a little. Which room does the Prince Regent live in? The Emperor's face was flushed, his steps unsteady. Split up. I went left. The Emperor went right. I wandered around the residence, completely turned around, until I reached a courtyard. In the middle sat a woman in pale blue robes, seated in a wheelchair, admiring the moon. Someone was hiding in the shadows of the trees behind her. Carried by the wind, I caught fragments of their conversation. The Prince Regent, assassination, the Emperor. The shadowy figure said a few more words. The woman in blue nodded, and the figure leapt away using lightness kung fu. The woman turned her wheelchair around. Suddenly, our eyes met. She raised an eyebrow. Her face, about 60% similar to mine, was utterly expressionless. My gaze dropped to her legs. I choked up and threw myself at her. This is all my fault. The woman in blue.
7.
I recognized her. Yes, she was the woman I'd caught having a secret rendezvous with the Prince Regent on the night of the Lantern Festival. Clearly her legs had been perfectly fine the last time I saw her. How had she ended up in a wheelchair after just a few days? In an instant, my mind spun an entire melodrama. She had learned she was nothing but a stand-in and refused to accept it. The Prince Regent went mad and broke both her legs, staging a cruel, captive romance. My eyes reddened. This is all the sin brought about by my beauty. The woman in blue finally spoke. Her voice wasn't soft like an ordinary woman's, cool, with a hint of frost. Is there something wrong with your brain? Tears streamed down my face. What a strong and kind-hearted woman. Just so I wouldn't feel guilty, she was even willing to curse at me. I stepped forward, grabbed her hand, and made a solemn vow. Sister, don't worry. The Emperor is in this residence right now. I'll take you to him immediately and have him stand up for you. Her expression turned strange. You're saying the Emperor's here too? That's right. What are the two of you doing here in the middle of the night? I clenched my fist. Obviously to uphold justice and expose someone's vicious, true face. With that, I stepped forward and began pushing the wheelchair. We passed through a carved hanging gate and turned a corner, only to run into a flight of steps. No matter how hard I pushed, the wheelchair wouldn't go up. The woman in blue clicked her tongue impatiently, stood up, stepped over the stairs, lifted the wheelchair across, then sat back down. What are you standing there for?
Keep pushing.
Me. Your legs are fine? Her. When did I ever say my legs weren't fine? Me. Then why are you in a wheelchair? The woman looked at me righteously, as if I were some clueless bumpkin. Just because my legs are fine, I'm not allowed to sit in a wheelchair? I'm lazy. I don't feel like walking. Is that not allowed? I licked my slightly dry lips. The alcohol had numbed my brain, and for a moment, I didn't register anything strange. Then I suddenly heard a rustling sound nearby. I turned my head. Shadows of trees swayed, moonlight scattered, and the Prince Regent had the Emperor pinned against a wall. I squinted for a long while before finally realizing that the Prince Regent and the Emperor were fighting with their mouths. I felt a bit dazed. Is this appropriate? The woman in blue sneered. What's inappropriate about it? If you think it's inappropriate, how about the two of us kiss as well?
8.
The Emperor came to find me, hesitating, clearly wanting to speak but stopping himself. My beloved consort, what do you think? What do I think? I can't bear to look. I am in pain. I am unhinged. I am twisted. I thought the Prince Regent setting his sights on me, a favored consort, was already audacious enough. Who would have thought, not only was he bold, he was downright insane. The one he coveted was the Emperor. By the end of last night, both the Emperor and I were drunk out of our minds. It was the Prince Regent himself who sent us back to the palace. I'd been wondering how he could be so brazen, commit such a treasonous act, and still dare to let us go. Until I woke up in Qi Zhao Palace and opened my eyes to see the woman in blue sitting by my bedside. She was ruthless and sparing with words. She shoved a pill of poison straight into my hand and said coldly, "You know how last night's event should be explained." After that, she stayed in my palace under the identity of Master Cattle Breeder. At this very moment, she was sitting at the palace gates, cracking a whip, while more than a dozen cows slowly changed formations in front of her. At one moment they formed an S, and the next moment a B. Against this massive SB backdrop, the Emperor looked at me timidly, like a lost lamb waiting for guidance. Me. Your Majesty, do you know what an indirect kiss is? Emperor. The Prince Regent kissed you, but the one he was thinking about was me. The Emperor froze. After a long while, he patted his chest, utterly relieved. That scared me to death. I almost thought Lu Heng liked me. No, aren't you relaxing a bit too easily? The Emperor stood up, completely shedding his earlier gloom, brimming with confidence as he rushed out. Lu Heng is coming to the Imperial Study today.
I was so scared I didn't dare see him.
I'm going to see him right now. I burst into tears. Your Majesty, don't leave me behind. A whip silently coiled around my ankle. I bid him farewell through tears. Your Majesty, safe travels.
9.
The woman in blue was riding a cow, looking down at me with arrogant disdain. Me? This isn't very appropriate, is it? She snorted. What? Are cows not allowed inside the palace? Me? That's not it. It's just this cow doesn't look fully grown yet. Isn't this animal abuse? Like, abusing a minor cow? I spoke earnestly, trying to reason with her. Xiaoqing, you're a fine young lady. Why follow the wrong path? Sticking with the Prince Regent leads nowhere. Her expression twisted for a split second. My name is Qi Zhao. Qi Zhao. That sounded familiar. For a moment, I couldn't remember where I'd heard it before. Just then, an unusual sound drifted in from afar, the clashing of weapons, mixed with shouts of "Protect His Majesty." Details I'd forgotten from last night came flooding back. I looked at Qi Zhao. She sat astride the cow, her expression growing grave. I pulled the jeweled hairpin from my head and stabbed it hard into the cow's butt. Startled, the cow kicked wildly and went berserk. I seized the chance and ran toward the imperial study. Dear heavens, both the Prince Regent and this Qi Zhao were clearly not good people.
10.
By the time I arrived, the imperial study was in chaos. Men in black were locked in combat with the guards, while the emperor was shielded in a corner by 2 attendants. I scanned the area. There was no sign of the Prince Regent. Reinforcements hadn't arrived yet. The battle was at a stalemate. One of the black-clad assassins broke through the guard's defense, raised a dagger, and lunged at the emperor. I gritted my teeth and grabbed a longbow hanging nearby. The arrow flew, striking the assassin squarely in the chest. At that moment, Qi Zhao arrived a few steps behind me, her face dark as she charged straight toward the emperor. I loosed my final arrow. Qi Zhao sprang and twisted midair, narrowly dodging it. I seized the chance, yanked the last jeweled hairpin from my hair, and hurled it at her with all my strength.
This time, it hit dead on.
Qi Zhao turned to look at me in disbelief. I stood tall, righteous and resolute, ready to die. I accused the Prince Regent of bribing assassins. His crime deserves death. And this cow-raising palace maid is also his accomplice. She even fed me poison.
Pa.
I hate people like you who act all smug. So, what if you've got poison? Your Majesty, remember this. I die for you. When I'm dead, give me a grand burial. Burn lots of paper money for me during festivals, and burn a few paper servants too. Make sure they're good-looking ones. I rattled off my last wishes in one breath. The emperor's expression turned complicated. Lu Heng is annoying, sure, but I don't think he'd do something like this. I was furious at his lack of backbone. Your Majesty, you can't trust him. He even dared to forcibly kiss you. What wouldn't he do? I argued passionately. You meet with the Prince Regent every day in the imperial study. So why is it that today, the moment assassins show up, he just happens to be gone? The emperor stepped aside, revealing what was behind him. The Prince Regent was slumped in a corner, a knife buried in his chest. Emperor, he took the blade for me. Me. Then what about Qi Zhao? She definitely came to kill you. Qi Zhao still had my jeweled hairpin stuck in her backside, yet that didn't stop her from killing the last assassin with a single strike. She glanced at me and let out a cold laugh. I made a last, desperate struggle. Then there's the poison. 11. The imperial physician examined the residue of the poison Qi Zhao had given me. Your Highness, this is a calming pill, meant to clear the mind and steady the spirit. Me. Qi Zhao. Heh. I forced a sheepish smile. Should I have the physician take a look at your butt? Qi Zhao raised an eyebrow. Didn't you say you hate people like me who act all smug? Wah, I was wrong. I'm sorry. Qi Zhao said coolly. The one you owe an apology to isn't just me. She blew a whistle, and a small calf slowly wandered in. She stroked the calf's head and returned my earlier words to me. It doesn't look fully grown yet. How could you bring yourself to be so cruel? Wah, I'm sorry. I'm a terrible person, little cow.
12.
The rumors among the people were not baseless. The emperor's throne was indeed unstable, and there had long been those plotting to seize power. However, the one who wanted to rebel was not the Prince Regent. For years, the Prince Regent had been investigating in secret, but all he uncovered were minor pawns. What was certain was that the mastermind could no longer hold back, otherwise they wouldn't have sent assassins to kill the emperor. The Prince Regent, his body wrapped in white bandages and his face pale from blood loss, said, "Now that this assassination attempt has failed, they'll surely lie low and cover their tracks. It'll be even harder to find the one behind it all." Qi Zhao lounged half-reclined on a beauty couch. "This isn't actually that hard. The key to breaking the deadlock lies in—" She paused deliberately. "Chi Wanwan." I'd been nodding off while listening, but when I suddenly heard Qi Zhao call my name loudly, I snapped awake and hurriedly held a grape up to her mouth. Coming. Wah, how pitiful. I, a once glorious favored consort, had fallen so low as to serve a so-called cow-raising palace maid. Is there really any justice left in this world? Qi Zhao bit into the grape. The Prince Regent and the Emperor asked in unison, "Where exactly does the solution lie?" Qi Zhao raised an eyebrow. "Didn't I already say?" All three of them turned to look at me.
Me.
13. Two major events have shaken the palace recently. First, the Emperor was attacked. The Prince Regent bravely protected him and took a knife for the Emperor. The very next day, the Emperor flew into a rage. Disregarding the Prince Regent's merit in saving him, he drew his sword at him in public. Only after many people intervened did the Emperor issue an edict placing the Prince Regent under house arrest in his own residence. The court was soon abuzz with speculation, and then insiders began leaking the truth. That knife the Prince Regent took, it wasn't for the Emperor at all, but for noble consort Qi. It was said that when the Prince Regent was at death's door, the Emperor went to visit him together with noble consort Qi. In his delirium, the Prince Regent clutched noble consort Qi's hand and poured out his heartfelt feelings. As the saying goes, when a man is about to die, his words are sincere. The Emperor's face turned green on the spot. Then more revelation surfaced. A woman was hidden in the Prince Regent's residence, bearing a 60% resemblance to noble consort Qi. Even the dozens of cows kept in noble consort Qi's Qixia palace became proof of the Prince Regent's deep affection. It was said that among all living creatures under heaven, noble consort Qi loved cows alone. For a time, cattle prices in the capital skyrocketed. People even started referring to noble consort Qi by a nickname when gossiping in private, respectfully calling her the cow consort. Taken together, all of this made people sigh with emotion. The Prince Regent truly loved the cow consort to madness. No, noble consort Qi. Noble consort Qi, that is, yours truly, was now about to be sent out of the palace to White Deer Temple to live as a lay practitioner. I clung to him reluctantly. Do I really have to go? The Emperor was equally conflicted. You have to. Qi Zhao said that unless you're sent out of the palace, no one will believe this scandalous affair. Me? Wah. Then I still have one thing to ask. I lifted my head, tears blurring my vision as I looked at the Emperor. The 5,000 taels you promised earlier. Does that still count? I had already lost the title of noble consort Qi. I couldn't lose the 5,000 taels too. 14. The moment I got into the carriage, I heard a familiar snort of laughter. Qi Zhao, it's only been a few days away and you already can't bear it? You really are deeply devoted to His Majesty. Of course I am. The Emperor is my cash cow. I replied modestly, not at all. You treat the Prince Regent quite well yourself. Scheming and putting in real work. Qi Zhao tugged at the corner of her mouth. As for me and the Prince Regent. Me. Qi Zhao. Forget it. You wouldn't understand even if I told you. I pouted. What I don't understand is why you said I'm the key to breaking the deadlock. The carriage rolled down Chang'an Street. Qi Zhao lifted the curtain and looked out at the bustling city. What does the Emperor rely on to sit securely on the throne? First, his imperial bloodline. Second, the power held by Prince Regent Lu Heng. No matter how the outside world speculates about their relationship, at least until now, the two of them haven't openly torn with each other. The one behind the scenes fears Lu Heng's power, which is why they've held back. But what if the Emperor and the Prince Regent were to completely fall out? What would the mastermind do then? If I were that person, I'd add fuel to the fire, drag the Prince Regent into my own camp, and then take the chance to eliminate the Emperor. There's already been one assassination attempt in the palace. Security will only be tighter now, making another attempt there impractical. So, if, at this moment, the Emperor were to leave the palace for White Deer Temple because he misses his beloved consort, would the mastermind let such a perfect opportunity pass? The bait has already been laid.
I don't believe they can hold back.
Qi Zhao let the curtain fall and turned to look at me. Her eyes seemed to hold countless sparks of light. I stared at her blankly. She lowered her gaze, dimming that light.
What? You didn't understand.
I sighed with emotion. You know martial arts, you're good at strategy, you're both brains and brawn. It's really a pity, Qi Zhao scoffed. A pity I'm a woman? I nodded, then shook my head. Even as a woman, you're bound to become someone truly formidable. The light in her eyes flared up again. Qi Zhao curled her lips, then pressed them down, speaking casually. So, what exactly is the pity? I said with heartfelt sorrow. That you don't like me. Qi Zhao raised an eyebrow. And what makes you so sure I don't like you? I stroked my chin. A woman's intuition? Qi Zhao nodded. Then you're not very womanly. Me. Are you insulting me again, just in a roundabout way? 15.
See?
Qi Zhao really doesn't like me. The first time we met, she said there was something wrong with my brain. Later, she tricked me into thinking she'd fed me poison. Every time she speaks, it's all barbs and sarcasm. How could she possibly like me? First time we met? Qi Zhao shot me a sideways glance. Who said that was our first meeting? I was completely lost. Huh? Then, the Lantern Festival night? That night, I'd clearly only seen her with the Prince Regent. They hadn't seen me. Qi Zhao went back to her mocking tone.
16.
After a month at White Deer Temple, news finally arrived from the palace. The Emperor, this hopeless romantic, was so consumed by longing for his beloved consort that he decided to come to White Deer Temple to burn incense and pray. I put on a deliberately haggard look and staged a once-in-a-lifetime reunion with the Emperor at the temple gates. Tears welled in my eyes. Your Majesty. The Emperor's emotions surged. My beloved consort. I fled, he chased. In this great game of love, neither of us could escape. In the end, the Emperor caught up to me in the back hills. He reached out his hand. Beloved consort, come back to the palace with me. I wiped my tears. Your Majesty, although your concubine has nothing to do with the Prince Regent, rumors are terrifying. If I return to the palace like this, wouldn't I be tarnishing your Majesty's reputation? I don't care. But I do, I said in agony. I want to be with your Majesty openly and honorably. Emperor, if that's the case, then for the sake of our love, once I return I'll order Liu hung executed. At that moment, both the Emperor and I fully grasped the true essence of the tyrant Emperor times enchanting consort personas. The Emperor pulled me back to a guest room for some intimate bonding. I whispered, will this really work? The Emperor wasn't entirely sure either. It should work? Moments later, Qi Zhao pushed the door open. Relax. Things are more than halfway done. While the Emperor and I were passionately acting out our drama in the back hills, someone had brought the Prince Regent to secretly watch from nearby. That person said, Has your Highness seen clearly now? The current Emperor is a lust-blinded tyrant. For the sake of a single consort, he's willing to kill you, a meritorious subject. Why not help my master accomplish his great cause? After a long internal struggle, the Prince Regent finally nodded. I want to meet your master. The man smiled. No need to rush, Your Highness. Once things succeed tonight, my master will naturally come out to meet you. 17. Me. Tonight? They're acting tonight? Qi Zhao nodded. Sitting shoulder to shoulder with the Emperor on the bed, she suddenly spoke again. Chi Wanwan, I'm thirsty. Me. Huh? The teapot's right there. Qi Zhao. I said I'm thirsty. Really hard to please. I muttered to myself, but still got up and poured her a glass of water.
18.
The night was dark and windy, and several groups of men quietly surrounded White Deer Temple. While the emperor and I were entangled in an intimate moment, the assassins suddenly appeared. During the struggle, the Prince Regent arrived with another group of men. The emperor's eyes lit up. "Beloved, come quickly to protect me." The Prince Regent gave a mysterious, unreadable smile, then, with a reverse strike, thrust a knife toward the emperor's abdomen. The emperor spat blood, his eyes wide, seemingly unable to die in peace. The Prince Regent coldly pulled me close, perfectly playing the villainous, lover-stealing traitor role. I had to cooperate. I immediately acted the weak and fragile consort. Wah, wah. Everything was going smoothly. A bright yellow figure appeared at the door, declaring loudly, "The Prince Regent really is a man who can accomplish great things." The Prince Regent muttered 2 words. "Uncle?" It was the emperor's second elder brother, the current Prince Ning. The Prince Regent said calmly, "I never imagined, uncle, that you would harbor thoughts of rebellion." "Me? Rebellion?" Prince Ning laughed. "Prince Regent, don't slander lightly. I merely happened to pass by White Deer Temple and witnessed you attempting to harm the emperor." He paused, then clapped his hands. "If anything, I came to protect His Majesty." 19. Prince Regent. "Uncle, are you trying to kill the donkey after milking it?" "Me?" Prince Ning laughed. "Lu Sheng needs a Prince Regent, I do not." "Me?" Prince Ning's anger flared. "Damn it, can you shut up?" "Me? Wah, wah, I am His Majesty's favored consort." "How dare you be so rude to me?" Prince Ning mocked. "His Majesty? He's already dead at the Prince Regent's hands. What kind of consort are you?" The emperor spat out a mouthful of blood and slowly stood up. "Oh, who said I'm dead?" Prince Ning was shocked. I secretly gave the emperor a thumbs up. This level of bluffing, full marks. Prince Ning's face twisted in rage. "You too conspired to deceive me? Emperor, so you can team up with Lu Heng, but I can't? In matters of loyalty, I have a deeper bond with Lu Heng. He's helping me. That's his duty." Prince Ning struggled. "But he covets your consort." "Emperor, so what? Lu Heng didn't come to destroy me and my consort. He came to join us. Uncle, broaden your horizons, think bigger." "Me? Wow, you are so shameless." If I were Prince Ning, I'd be furious. Sure enough, Prince Ning was about to blow his top and shouted, "Then you two shall die together." The Prince Regent spoke slowly. "Uncle, why can't you see the bigger picture?" Another group of men surrounded them. It was the Prince Regent's men. The emperor sighed. "Lu Heng, uncle, is old and a bit confused. Be gentle with him." The situation reversed instantly. Prince Ning's guards began covering him for retreat. The Prince Regent pursued. At that moment, the ground shook violently. Not good. Prince Ning has planted explosives nearby.
20.
In an instant, chaos erupted. Explosions roared in my ears. Massive beams fell from above. Someone charged forward, knocking me to the ground. After choking on the smoke, I realized the side chamber had collapsed, but luckily, a narrow space remained between the fallen beams and the ground. Qi Zhao and I were trapped there, unable to see outside, only hearing the constant clamor. Qi Zhao pressed me down, gritting her teeth. "Are you stupid? Standing there waiting to die." Only then did I realize I had narrowly escaped death. Qi Zhao? She snapped irritably. "You can still recognize me, so you're not completely brain-dead yet." The heat from the explosions made it unbearable. I twisted my head to look at Qi Zhao, only to see that a large portion of skin on her left cheek had peeled off. I cried pathetically. "Wah! Qi Zhao, your face." 21. Qi Zhao touched her face and waved her hand casually. "Oh." The human skin mask got burned. I hiccuped through my sobs. "A human skin mask? So you don't really look like me?" "Obviously not." I paused, then asked cautiously, "Then what do you really look like?"
Head guess.
I tested. "You're not ugly, are you?" Long moments passed without a response. I despaired. "No way, you're not actually ugly, are you?" Qi Zhao ground her teeth. Chi Wanwan, you've truly forgotten who I am. I am Qi Zhao.
Qi Zhao.
Qi Zhao.
Ah. Qi Zhao.
22. My father was a nouveau riche. I had always been physically weak, and later, my father bought a big mansion in Jiangnan. He told me the neighboring mansion was home to a general. He said, "A general. Just hearing that makes one feel strong. Living nearby, maybe your health will improve too." I didn't know about the general's health, but I knew he had many children, unlike my father, who had only me. One girl around my age often climbed over walls. I invited her to share snacks with me, but she ignored me. After a while, she finally agreed to eat with me. Not only did she eat, she packed some to take home for Ah Huang. Me. Ah Huang is your dog. Qi Zhao. Ah Huang is my brother. Me. Oh, sorry. Qi Zhao. It's fine. But if you really feel bad, give me a plate of osmanthus cake. My brother loves it. When we were 12, on Mid-Autumn Festival, Qi Zhao climbed over the wall again. I waved happily. A chef from the capital came to my house. He made osmanthus cake. It's really good. Take some for your brother. Qi Zhao. No need. Me. Who are we kidding? Don't be so polite. Later I learned that on that Mid-Autumn Festival, Ah Huang had died. My father secretly told me the neighboring general wasn't a good man, married so many women, turning his household upside down. Qi Zhao's mother was a minor concubine who died in childbirth, giving birth to her brother. The general had many daughters and even more sons, and didn't care for Ah Huang, his son. Ah Huang had drowned in the lake. Some said it was done by the general's concubine. Others said by the general's legitimate son. But the general punished no one, as if the death of a son was trivial. When I was 14, Qi Zhao was betrothed as a secondary wife to one of the general's colleagues. That colleague was about the same age as the general.
23.
But Qi Zhao never actually got married. The night before her wedding, I saw her climbing the wall again. She didn't say a word. I stuffed all my savings into her hands. Qi Zhao whispered, "I'm leaving." I asked, Zhao, after you leave, what do you want to do?" She said, "I want to be a great general. A general even stronger than my father." "But generals are all men," I said. Then I added, "But you could be the first female general." Qi Zhao was silent for a long while, then asked, "And you? What do you want to do?" "I want lots and lots of money." "You don't want to marry?" I shook my head. "No, not even the emperor. My heart belongs only to money." I paused, then added, "And this money I gave you is a loan. You'll have to pay me back with interest." After that night, I never saw Qi Zhao again. A few months later, the general's family next door got into trouble, and the entire household was arrested. 24. The noise outside seemed to stop, and Qi Zhao and I were trapped in the rubble. I asked her, "Where did you go afterward?" Qi Zhao, "My father got into trouble. Naturally, I became a wanted criminal too. I hid wherever I could." "So, how did you end up working with the Prince Regent?" "What do you mean by end up?" "Watch your words." "I actively cooperated with him. I helped him protect the emperor, he helped clear my name, and after that, he sent me to the frontier to join the army." "Me? You still want to be a great general?" Qi Zhao, "Of course. Unlike some people who said they'd never marry the emperor, yet ended up as a consort anyway." I corrected her. "That's different. I became a consort to make money." I didn't tell Qi Zhao that the year after she left, my father died. Those relatives who had always seemed kind-hearted suddenly turned cruel. Claiming my father had no heirs, they divided all his property. But my father did have me, his daughter. They even tried to marry me off to some old man. So, like Qi Zhao, I ran away from the arranged marriage. After that, I did everything I could to make money, and eventually entered the palace to earn from the emperor. 25. Qi Zhao, so, you don't like the emperor? Me. I only like the money he gives. Qi Zhao. Oh, me. Are you laughing? Qi Zhao. I'm not. He he. 26. Me. Then why did you disguise yourself? Qi Zhao. I'm still a wanted criminal. I can't just parade my real face around. I frowned. Then, why does your disguised face look so much like mine? Qi Zhao. Oh, just messing around. Me? I don't believe you.
Hee hee.
27. Me. What do we do now? Qi Zhao. What else? Wait until they realize we're missing and dig us out. Me. And if they can't dig us out? Qi Zhao. Then we die together. Me. What if I die? Qi Zhao. I know. Burn extra paper money for you during festivals, and a few handsome men too. Me. Wah, burning some beauties like you is fine too. Just one, I'm not greedy. Qi Zhao. Humph, carrot, keep dreaming. 28. Qi Zhao and I were rescued. The Prince Regent and Emperor were fine, but Prince Ning had escaped. Qi Zhao discussed the follow-up plans with the Prince Regent. I couldn't understand a word, muttering, I really am an idiot. Qi Zhao glanced at me. Don't you dare say that about yourself. I brightened. So, I'm not an idiot? Qi Zhao, you can say you're a beautiful idiot. Me. 29. After eliminating Prince Ning, the Emperor was in a good mood and gave me the 5,000 taels he had promised. I pocketed the money and said goodbye. I'm leaving the palace. The Emperor was stunned. You don't want to stay a consort and make money? I shook my head. I've earned enough from you. Now I want to earn from others. The Emperor looked a little disappointed. I couldn't help but say, actually, I think your relationship with the Prince Regent is quite good. Ah, really? I chose my words carefully. At first, I thought you two didn't get along. But he risked his life to block a knife for you. During the explosion, he rushed to you first. And you trusted him so much that you used yourself as bait to lure out Prince Ning. The Emperor smiled. He's my brother. Just a brother? The Emperor's smile faded. After a long pause, he said, he can only be a brother. 30. The Prince Regent is a man of integrity. Not only did he clear Qi Zhao's name, but he also gave her a mansion in the capital. When I went to climb walls, Qi Zhao was packing to go join the frontier army. I scolded her. You're going to the frontier, and didn't tell me? Qi Zhao raised an eyebrow. You climb walls too? Me. Didn't you learn from someone? Qi Zhao. If anyone saw a former consort climbing walls in the street, the imperial censor would probably report you. I shrugged. Doesn't matter, I'm not a consort anymore. I jumped down the wall. By the way, I have 3 words I've wanted to say to you for a long time. Qi Zhao's face stiffened, stammering. Duh? Just. I clenched my chest. Give me back my money. Qi Zhao. Me. You forgot? The night you ran from your marriage, I lent you a huge sum. With interest, it must be several thousand taels. I raised my chin. I thought about it. I've never been to the frontier anyway. I need to watch over you. Make sure you don't run off without paying. 31. In the 3rd year at the frontier, a storyteller from the capital came to the streets. He struck the clapper. Today we tell the tale of the famous consort Qi, whose beauty made both His Majesty and the Prince Regent bow before her. Alas, beauty is fleeting. She perished in the Prince Ning rebellion of that year. Both the Emperor and the Prince Regent were men of great passion. After consort Qi's death, the Emperor left her quarters empty and the Prince Regent did not marry for years. I stormed home to find Qi Zhao. Me. How outrageous. Did they even give us money? Or just use me as a front? The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. What on earth does the Emperor think of the Prince Regent? Qi Zhao wiped her long spear. What do you think? Whatever's hidden in the secret chamber of the Imperial Study. Me. The Imperial Study has a secret chamber? Tell me, what's in it? Qi Zhao. Nothing much. Just a wall. I felt disappointed. Huh? Paintings cover the wall. I perked up. All of the paintings are of the same person. Qi Zhao mysteriously. Guess who it is?
The end.